Mr. Chairman.
Senator Graham. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello.
Senator Graham.
Thank you. Thank you. I apologize for being late. We're having a hearing on AFRICOM, and it's been very informative in armed services. To my colleagues, there seems to be some bipartisanship emerging on certain aspects of the problem. Senator Flake, Begich, and Pryor, we have come together to try to fix a problem I think everyone would agree needs to be fixed. There was a young lady who's a paranoid schizophrenic, clearly mentally unstable, tragic figure in many ways. In 2005 in South Carolina, she was arrested, indicted for threatening the life of the President of the United States and members of Congress. Very, very disturbed young lady. She pled guilty, not guilty by reason of insanity. The federal court ordered her into treatment. She went through a pretty laborious process, found incompetent to stand trial, rendered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. The court ordered mental health treatment in a confined environment. She was eventually released. She went to Walterboro, South Carolina in February of this year and was able to buy a gun. She passed the background check. The system did not record the fact that she'd been adjudicated mentally incompetent and dangerous to herself and others. She bought a .22 caliber pistol, a semi-automatic pistol, went to Ashley Hall private school, went into the administrator's office, pulled the gun out, and it did not fire. Thank God she's been arrested and she needs a lot of help. But there's an effort in a bipartisan way to make sure that adjudications like that get into the background system. There are over 14,000, I've been told, adjudications in South Carolina of people danger to themselves and others through a competent court process that are not entered into the federal system, and my state is trying to fix that problem, and I hope they're successful in South Carolina of entering these cases into the federal background check system. And there's some things that Senator Schumer's doing and many others that may bear fruit, so keep trying. But as to the assault ban, I know that Senator Feinstein has been consistent, she's sincere, and she has the courage of her convictions, and what more could you ask? That is a compliment to her. My belief is that the solution being proposed has constitutional problems and doesn't really solve the problem. 2.5% of the murders committed in 2011 involved rifles. There were more people killed with bare hands than that. The assault weapon is, when it's misused, is a tragedy when any gun is misused. I think a lot of us agree that mentally unstable people, felons, shouldn't have any gun with any bullet. And sometimes the law-abiding citizen, at least in my view, may need more than 10 bullets, given what they may face in the real world as it is. So my objections are that this doesn't really fix the problem, and that it didn't work before, it won't work now. But since then, there's been a Supreme Court case called the Heller case. It has a three-part test. Second Amendment protects the individual right to possess a firearm for traditionally lawful purposes such as self-defense. And to my colleagues, Vice President Biden, a dear friend of all of us, has this belief that a double-barrel shotgun is the best way to defend oneself if there's a lawless environment and mobs come to your house. He told his wife, if you have a problem, go out on in the backyard and fire 2 blasts. Well, that's not an unreasonable thing, but once you shoot twice, you don't have any more bullets, so you better take some shells with you in case they don't run away. My belief is in an environment where the law and order is broken down, where it's a hurricane, natural disaster, earthquake, terrorist attack, a cyber attack, where the power goes down and the dam's broken and chemicals are been released into the air, and law enforcement is really not able to respond, and people take advantage of that lawless environment. I have an AR-15. I'm not going to do anything illegally with it, but I believe that it is a better defense weapon in that environment than a double-barrel shotgun because it has more than 2 bullets. It's an intimidating-looking weapon, and the home with an AR-15 is probably better protected from a gang than a home without a gun, and in my view, a double-barrel shotgun. But that's just my opinion. You can certainly disagree. I just think what I'm saying makes sense, at least in my mind. It's not irrational. Common use at the time, there are over 4 million AR-15s in circulation. I happen to have one of them. I would say that's common use. Dangerous and unusual. Absolutely, an AR-15 misused is dangerous like almost any other gun, but I would not say it's an unusual weapon since so many people have decided to buy the weapon. So I will be voting against the legislation. I didn't think it worked before. I don't think it will work now. I think it misses the mark of what the real problem is. And after Heller, I really doubt the constitutionality, and I'm very disappointed our Attorney General couldn't render opinion on this. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to speak.